Students, this is question number 9. We will have to draw the data points. So let me draw that first and then we will start working out the solution for this question. Okay. So we are given x-axis, y-axis. Okay, all right. And the points are 3, 4, A and 20, B 1.2, 1.5 and 2. So this is the data that we have for x and y axis. Now we are given a statement in the question. It says that y is inversely proportional to x. Now when they use the word inversely proportional to x, it means when x increases, y value will decrease. That is the meaning of inversely proportional. Now, having given you that information, the first question is asking us to express excuse me, y in terms of a, in terms of a constant k and variable x. So let's start with this first question. Now this is the solution. I'm going to utilize this fact that y is inversely proportional. I'm going to state it. Since given that y is inversely proportional to x, this means that y is, this is the side for inversely proportional. Okay, y is inversely proportional to 1 over x. Now if you want to remove this proportionality sign, then you write it utilizing a constant k, and this is how it is written. So according to this question, we are asked to write y in terms of a constant k and the variable x. So that is a solution to this question. So let's move on to the next one. So the next part of the question wants us to find the value of k. Now how do we do that? Go back to the table. You see, you get the value of x and y. When x is equal to 3, y is 2. So solution, where are you getting the value? State that. From the table, we know that. So what do we know? We know that when x is equal to 3, y is equal to 2. So I'm going to name this as equation 1. Hence, we now have 1 is going to be 2 is equal to k over 3. So you cross multiply, you get k is equal to 2 times of 3, which means k is equal to 6. So therefore 1 can be rewritten as y is equal to 6 over x. So you block this and show to the examiner. So that's the solution for this question. Now the next question is asking us find the value of a and b. So what a is standing for? X is equal to a. For x is equal to a, y value is 1.2. So I'm going to take this as 2. And then I'm going to rewrite it here. Therefore 2 can be rewritten as y is equal to 6 over x. Is it not? So let me use the next side of the paper. So what do we have? We have y is equal to 6 over x. And then what? For x is equal to a and y is equal to 1.2, this is 2, right? So therefore I can rewrite 2 as 1.2 is equal to 6 over a is x is equal to a. So just place the value of a there. So cross multiply, you get a and then you bring the 1 over 2 to the down to the denominator. So it's going to be 6 over 1 over 2. Now I need to get rid of this decimal point. So I multiply by 10 and I divide by 10. I will get 60. Over here I'll get 12. So 12 divided 60 how many times? 5 times. So therefore A is equal to 5. Now we are also asked to find the value of B. For B, we are given, what is that we are given? Go back to the table. When y is equal to b, x is equal to 20. Or I would say when x is equal to 20, y is equal to b. Okay. So therefore what we are going to do with 2? 2 will be rewritten as y is equal to b. So this is 2. Y is equal to 6 over x is 2. Just for your reference, I am writing the system back again. So b is equal to 6 over x is 20. We need to get the value of b. So this means 20 is equal to, in fact I will substitute the value with b. So I would say 20b is equal to 6. So I divide by 20. So b will be equal to 6 over 20. This is how it looks. So 2 divides 3 times, 2 divides 10 times. So b is equal to 3 over 10, which means b is equal to 0.3. Okay, so you box it every time you get the result. You box the values. So having given you that, we move on to the next one. Now the next is we are given a graph. So let me draw the graph. The graph is a parabola, U-shaped parabola. This is the shape of the graph. So this point is 2 and this point is 4. These are the main points, and this point is 3. So what happens is the graph is hitting like this and hitting the point here and then moving up to hit 4. So it hits 4, it hits 2, and this point is 3. And exactly at this point, there is this -1. So the graph is moving up. Okay, so I want to stretch this. So this is going to be my x-axis and this is going to be my y-axis. So this is the shape of the graph. Okay, fair enough. So now they are asking us to solve x squared negative 6x positive 8 from the graph. So how do you do that? See, when they are asking you to solve, they are asking us to get the value of x. Okay, so you will have to find the intersection of the graph on the x-axis. That is the priority. So where does the graph intersect? At the point 2 and 4. So you can state it here. From the graph, we see that there is an intersection. The keyword is intersection on the x-axis at where? At x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 4. Hence the roots are what? The roots are x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 4. So if x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 4 are the roots, x minus 2 and x minus 4 will be the factors. But what if someone is asking you to provide a check? So what you need to do in that case, take x minus 2, x minus 4, you multiply it together. X into x, x squared, x into 4, negative 4 is negative 4x. This is negative 2x and this is positive 8. So negative 4x, negative 2x gives you what? Negative 6x and you have 8. What is this? This is what is given here, isn't it? So this means check is true. Check is what? True. Now this is additional information. You don't have to write this in your exam, but you will have to write this. Now this will give a better impression of you to the examiner, because examiner will understand that you know what you are actually doing. So this is the exact concept. Okay, fair enough. So we have got that. Now there is the next thing that you will have to know. What is it? What is the next question? Write down the minimum point. So what is the minimum point? Now you see this bend that you see here, this is going to be the minimum point. Okay, this is the point of minimum. Now how do you get the point of minimum? From the graph. Okay, from the graph, this is the next question. From the graph, we see that there is a minimum occurring where? Occurring at x is equal to, where is the minimum, where is the lowest point? This is the point x is equal to 3, at x is equal to 3. And what is the minimum value? Go to the y-axis and check the minimum value. This is the minimum value, right? X is equal to 3, giving what? Giving us a minimum value of y is equal to -1. So this means minimum occurs at, you write the coordinate 3, -1 and you box the result. Okay, good. Now let's move on to the next one. Now this is the next question. Question number subdivision 3 is, write x squared -6x +8 in the form of x positive h whole squared positive k. There is a a there, a times of x positive h the whole squared positive k. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to consider these two and rewrite it as a perfect square. So how do we do that? You take the coefficient of x, which is 6, you divide, it's actually -6, so you divide -6 by 2, what do you get? You get -3. Now take this -3 and you place it over here, then you square it. Now this is a rough column, you expand this, what do you get? X squared -6x and +9. So you will have to remove this 9, because x squared and -6 is already there, but the 9 is the additional term. So you remove the 9 out, but there is also 8 that is present here, isn't it? So you will have to place that 8. Now you simplify it. So there's nothing but x -3 the whole squared, -9 added with 8 will give you -1. Now this is the final answer. Now for check, you can write the check over here. You can just study the check. You expand this, you get x squared -6x +9 followed by -8. When -9 and when +9 and -1 is added, you get +8. So this is going to be x squared -6x +8, isn't it? So this is of the form, what is the form? This is of the form 8 times of x positive h the whole squared positive k. What is the value of a? What is the coefficient that is present before the parenthesis? A is equal to 1. And what is the value that is present here? Now h value, right? Now so h is equal to -3. So what is the value for k? K is equal to -1. If they ask you, because this can always be rewritten as x positive of -3. In this case, it is exactly the same representation as that is requested here, x positive h. So that's why I am writing h is equal to -3 here. Now k value is direct value. So if there is a positive sign, so what is the exact meaning here? It's going to be positive of k value, which is -1. So this is how the representation looks. So that's the reason I've taken the value of k is equal to -1, h is -3, the coefficient of a is 1. So that is the conclusion for this question. Now the value of a, h and k are not asked. All they are asking you to do is to give the representation. But in some questions, they might ask you to produce the value of a, h and k. In that case, this is the solution. So let's move on to the next one. Now this is the next question. We are given g of x is equal to x -2. We are asked to draw the graph of this, of g of x on the same axis. So What does it mean? We have to utilize the same axis and we need to draw this graph. So how are we going to do that? Now this is the solution. Now given, I'm going to take it as not g of x, I'm going to take it as y is equal to x negative 2. So when x is equal to 0, y is negative 2. Right. And when y is equal to 0, what happens? X is equal to positive 2. So this is the point that we need. This is the x-intercept. Now you can have one other or two other points. Say when x is equal to 1, y is equal to what? Substitute x is equal to 1, y is equal to negative 1. And say when x is equal to 4, y is equal to 4 minus 2. That's going to be 2. So we can just use these points and draw the graph. So when x is equal to 0 is over here. When x is equal to 0, y is equal to negative 2. So if this is taken as negative 2, there is a hit here, okay, for the line. And then what do we have? When y is equal to 0, x is equal to 2. So this is the hit, right? When y is equal to 0, x is equal to 2. So there is a hit actually on the x-axis. So this is the hit. Next is when x is equal to 1, y is equal to negative 1, right? When x is equal to, watch here, when x is equal to 1, y is equal to negative 1. So this is how the graph is moving. This is how the graph is moving, right? So is there anything else? X is equal to 3. What happens to x is equal to 3? Y is equal to 1. When x is equal to 3, if I take this point as 1, right? So this is the approximate graph. So these are the main points I'm showing here. Right, the graph will be heading like this. Now, the main thing is we will have to find where the intersection of the line and the parabola takes place. So for that, the question also wants us to solve x squared negative 6x positive 8 is equal to x negative 2. So this will give us the intersection. So this is going to be x squared negative 6x positive 8, negative x positive 2 is equal to 0. You add these two together, you get negative 7x. Add these two together, you get positive 10 is equal to 0. So a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 7, c is equal to 10. X is equal to negative b plus or minus negative b squared negative 4 times a times c. So divided by 2 times of a. So this is going to be 7 plus or minus root of 49 minus 40 divided by 2, which is 7. 40 negative 9. It's going to be 49 negative 40. That's going to be 9. So plus or minus 2. So therefore x is equal to 7 positive 3 divided by 2, which is 10 over 2, which is 5. And x is equal to 7 negative 3 divided by 2, which is 4 over 2, which is equal to 2. So 2 points, 2 and 5, right? So if this point is 5, the graph which I stretched, it's actually going up like this, but apparently the graph will have to go up like this, so that there is a hit somewhere there. Okay, but this is not asked to be drawn, but just to show you the hit. Okay, so the hit will take place exactly at this is not to scale, okay, this is the approximate hit I'm giving at 5. Okay, so one hit is at x is equal to 2, this is one hit, and at x is equal to 5 is the other hit, so this is not included. Okay, so what I would suggest you is when you're drawing the graph, I think it's better you stop over here. You don't have to stretch this. When it's time for you to draw the other line, you can clearly draw the intersection. So this is a lovely question. Okay, this is a lovely question, and we have completed it. So probably you can write the line here. So y is equal to x negative 2 is a line, and we have given everything that is required for this question. So that's the conclusion for this lovely question. We move on to the next one.